Hey guys, welcome to the first in the monk quest line. Not quite the first in the pugilist, but whatever. Brother from another mother. Soul of the monk and rockbreaker. Gagaruna has work for a willing pugilist.
Tell me, do you know of Professor Eric? He's a scholar of Eorzean military history, whose genius is second to none, and he is amongst our most valued clients. Some find him to be verbose, tedious, haughty, but never mind all that. The man spends more gil on a moon's research than most people see in a lifetime, hence our amicable relations. His latest work has him visiting the sites of ancient battlefields. He insists on surveying lands plagued by savage beasts. According to him, the beasts keep man away, and less intrusion by man means greater preservation. Whatever his reasons, should the professor meet an untimely fate, we will be unable to collect the gil he has borrowed, much less the interest. Oh, and it will be a terrible loss for the academic community and so on and so forth. Yes. My point is, the man must needs be guarded. To that end, I sent a monk of Ala Mhigan to see to his safety, but it turns out the bloody oaf has no work ethic about him, just like in Ala Mhigan. The professor cannot focus on his work if he feels endangered, and so has demanded we assign him a new bodyguard. That's why I'm glad to see you, Alex. The professor is awaiting his new escort as we speak, and I'd like for it to be you. You are yet a mere pugilist. Perhaps this task would provide some insight into what it is that monkhood does around here. Make for the Goldsmiths Guild, and there seek out the good Professor Eric. The professor claims he will pay his debt and the fees for his protection once his research is complete. See to it that our investment doesn't end up under the paw or in the maw of some nasty beast. Okie dokie. Well, let's bolt over to here and we'll teleport to the Goldsmiths Guild. Do bum 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 ba ba. And goldsmiths. So I'm very interested in this because of the whole thing about the 4.0 or the second expansion of the game focusing on Ala Mhigan. Hello, Eric. Ah, my punch-prone manservant, I presume. You may and shall call me Eric. You are to guard my life, even at the cost of your own, and aid in my revolutionary research whenever and however asked. Know that my primary endeavour, is to reconstruct the military histories of old through the ethereal analysis of ancient battlegrounds. I assume the words conjure in your simple mind romantic images of vast plains and open valleys, with armies charging blindly at one another. False! I seek to know where the armies of old were deployed, where they made camp and marched. No doubt you think such lands to be those sung of in the songs of bards. False! They are here, beneath our very feet. And to find them and determine precisely how events unfolded upon them is my purpose. No doubt you jumped at the chance to aid in my work. Tell me, which of my treatises have you read? All of the... None? Gods! I knew you adventurers had a reputation for being unlettered. I didn't know you actually made efforts to remain so... It matters not. Hey, point me in the direction and I'll give it a read. I require only that you work with diligence. Unlike that Widdergelt buffoon, the man proved to be a
sloth itself. Alas, he is a monk of Ala Mhigan. I suppose the fool was too busy opening his chakra or whatever those barbarians do all day. I admit, he seemed keenly interested in my research, but now he's gone off to 12 knows where and is yet to return. Do you understand the sheer magnitude of this inconvenience? Yes, I do, I guess. Good. You should know. You show that much promise, at least. But let us speak more of my work. Our first destination is the Sildee excavation site in central Thanalan. I believe events of great import to the history of Sildar. I'm sure it's Sildee, but I'll still call it Sildar. Transpired there. Surely if you have ears, you've heard of Sildee. Or are you deaf as well as dull? Very well. I see that you require some instruction. It would be remiss of me as an academic to allow you to wallow in such ignorance. Sildee was plunged into chaos in the wake of King Lawaifu's demise, or the King of Springs as he was known. Despite the success of economic reforms, formed unrest amongst the people, resulting in violent outbreaks throughout the kingdom. Sildee was a sultan at the time, a distant descendant of an attack that was ordered. And so, irony of ironies, hadn't been for that horse, yeah. Fascinating, is it not? It is enough to convince one. Things could not have happened any other way, no? False! One among my colleagues disagrees with this interpretation of events. He claims to have evidence suggesting otherwise, but all traces of it disappeared before it was published. Well, as much as that did sound like he was babbling on, I probably would have been interested in hearing that. I am kind of a lore buff. Mine own research shall unearth any such evidence, should it truly exist. I shall know the truth. Granted, you are not the brightest coal in the brazier, but surely such a prospect entices even you. And so, we make for the Sildee excavation site in central Thanalan. Travel the way before me to see that it is safe, and once there, set up this etherometer. And should you ever care to know more of the Eorzean military history, do come and see me. It is a personal crusade of mine to guide the dullards of this realm towards some modicum of enlightenment. Thank you. An honest inquiry. That said, wonderful moment when ignorant curiosity overcomes pride. Right then, let us begin. Alright, I'm intrigued by this. I need hardly mention that Sildean civilization is now centuries dead. Sildee was plunged into chaos in the wake of King Lawaifu's demise, or the King of Springs as he was known. Despite the success of his economic reforms, also you actually get to hear the full thing now. The tax increases he imposed did not sit well with his subjects. This, coupled with the prolonged sequence of untimely droughts, fomented unrest amongst the people, and in time sparked violent unrest throughout the kingdom. Sildee was not alone in its want for water. Uldar too felt the effects of the drought. The Sultan of the time, Sasagan ul Sisigan, perhaps you recognize the Ul name. The current Sultana, Nanama ul Namo, represents the second Ul dynasty. She is Sasagan's distant descendant. Now, where was I? Ah yes, right so. So Sasagan ordered an attack on Sildee to claim the water resources discovered as the result of Lawaifu's flood control acts. But the royal and nobility of Sildee would not remain idle. They mobilized their nation in the face of this crisis. and the people fought with great tenacity against the Uldan threat. The full force of both nations met in battle, and thus the end result was an arduous, protracted conflict. Though arguably more desirable than surrender, the ruling Sildeen elite took little pleasure in having succeeded in uniting the theretofore querulous citizenry to fight. For despite all they accomplished, every day spent waging war dragged the nation's financial affairs, which you will recall had only just been brought under control, back into the mire. To bring an end to the long military dreadlock, Sildee devised and set about implementing a perversive yet ambitious strategy. It sought to zombify the deceased among its army, that they might fight again. Now this is actually very interesting, and I'll explain in a second, but just remember this fact. At first it appeared to have worked, yet at the height of hostilities, the Sildeans lost control over their necrotic creations. The undead turned on their masters, and before long the zombification had spread to a majority of the population. Ever knowing an opportunity when they saw one, the Uldans used this to justify their war, now proclaiming it a crusade to send these zombies to Thal. After seeing to the extermination of all zombies outside the city, they then sealed the gates of Sildee, entrapping both the living and the dead within. And that, in brief, is the history of the fall of Sildee. I only pray that your feeble mind is able to retain it. Now that is interesting because you come across that story in the Mandeville quest line and find out that perhaps things aren't quite what they seemed. Now where were we going? Was it Western? I'm going to check. Central. Fair enough. I was totally off. So yeah, apparently it was more that Uldar were the ones that were using the zombification, and they were blaming the other side, and it was so much that they created it, and then after they won, they blamed the other side for having created it, making them seem like monsters and bad guys, when Uldar were potentially really the bad guys in the whole situation. But as is history, always written by the victors. Boop, ba-da. Well, there was a dead brass blade. So this should be interesting to see what other things we can learn. Hop! Hop! Etherometer. Ooh. Duty calls. Commence battle for brother from another mother. If you're above 34, will be synced. Well, I'm 35, so I'm slightly above. Only just. Well done. Now we need only wait for the etherometer to gauge the... Oh, okay. There are fiends about, Alex. They are often drawn to the lingering sense of blood and death. Well, this is what you're here for. Have at it. I can handle a couple of these. Beat the bloody hells out of the blasted things. There are measurements to be taken. Would help if I was on the correct thing, wouldn't it? Renegade Imp. Do 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 ba ba. Yes, that's it. The data's flowing now. Do. Bum bum bum. Are we gonna get a big one? Well, that is literally a big one. Ah, here comes the true foe. Do. Most fascinating. This data will prove invaluable. Do. Still D. Spriggans. This isn't the time, Spriggans. Wittergeld, so good of you to drag yourself all this way. You pure blind. Would that be pure blind? Sluggard? Ah, and Alex, you have far exceeded what admittedly low expectations I had of you. I suppose introductions are in order. Far be it from me to deny the realms unread the comfort of one another's company. Wittergeld Alexander Wittergeld, the monk I spoke of, said to me by Gagaruna. I tried to make a pupil of Wittergeld as well, but he has little mind for history. His primitive beliefs in the witchcraft of chakra and the spiritual energies have a tenacious hold on him. Oh, truly, this is the area where there have been sightings of walking dead? I have heard the tales. Some claim that they've seen an apparition wearing the garb of an ancient commander. Careful, there's still dangers about. His work is dear to him. That is good. His thirst for knowledge, for truth, discovery awakens him. You too have awoken, friend. Can you not feel it? Do not be frightened. Here was a battle long ago. Much energy remains. It has found you. It flows through you. Your chakra has been opened. This was the light that shone from you. It is as Eric said. Wittergeld is my name. I am a brother of the monkhood. My order is the Fist of Ragla. Or Vralga. I always say that wrong. Our way is to train the body and mind. The fist is our weapon. With it, we put down our enemies. The energies within us moves the fist. The chakra is the seat of that energy. It is a sacred place. It can be opened, and the life force within controlled. Chakra exists in all that lives, in all beings. Yet, not all beings can open them. Much training is needed, and great discipline. With these, the life force can be demanded, or commanded. There are those who require no training. Their inner strength is such that it forces the chakra open. I have heard of this happening, but never have I seen it, until now. I see in you great conviction. You mean to walk the monk's path, And so I will give you this, a soul crystal, the mark of my order. None but a monk may hold it, and only then with the order's leave. But your chakra has awakened, that is clear, and so you are worthy. Many pour that crystal before you. It remembers them, their breath and their movement. They will one day be yours, but your chakra must open further. Only then can the crystal's memories enter you. This is no more than the beginning. Now you must train, learn to control the life force within you. With time, you will master it. We stand on an ancient battleground. A great war was raged here. The spirit of that fight lingers. The ether reaches for the chakra. It aids in the opening. That is why we monks seek such lands. Eric seeks these lands for reasons of his own. The fate favors you in this. Follow him. Your chakra will grow ever more. Professor Eric is leaving. Fear not. I will see to his safety. Please, brother, the Etherometer. Gather it and bring it to the Goldsmith's Guild. Yes. Dink. Over here. And everyone has vanished. And back to the Goldsmith's Guild to finish this off. Teleporto, pele torto. The steps of Nald. The silence of the loading screen. Ba 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 ba. The Goldsmith's Guild. The singing song. Well, look who has decided to grace us with his presence. Did you enjoy the saunter back? I was just about to begin my analysis, so if you've matters you wish to speak on, I'd ask that you save it for... Oh, Soul of the Monk. The dull glow of the soul crystal tells you a tale of neglect. Ah, you've brought the Etherometer. Excellent. I have a feeling you might not be entirely useless. Now, let us see what discoveries await. Rittergelt passed along a soul crystal to you? Moved to join the monkhood by the bone-headed clod, were you? Well, I suppose it is for the best that my pupils get along. But I do believe I will see to it. You are sent to separate locations for the next round of measurements. And I dare say the land to which I intend to send you is fraught with dangers. You had best tread the monk's path quickly if you mean to defend yourself. And me besides. The next monk quest will be available at level 35. And we have unlocked Soul of the Monk and Rockbreaker. Complete. Ba ba ba. Ba ba da 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 da. Monk unlocked. Next one, we have to equip the Soul Stone to actually get. Insulted Intelligence and Shoulder Tackle. Well, while we're here, let's equip ourselves. monk. Good, it has changed it, and everything's good. We can't really tie out Rockbreaker right now, but maybe next time we will. In Insulted Intelligence. So, thanks for watching, guys. As always, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next part of the Monk Quests. See you next time. Bye-bye!